Alrighty, so today, finally gonna install the tow hitch and the plug and everything like that. If you're doing a 7-pin plug in Australia, it's very simple. Everything's under here, you just plug it in. But I'm doing a 12-pin, so I'll put the code up on the screen. A little bit more involved, not necessarily harder, it's just got to run a few more wires, that's all. Being all this fun stuff. Now, depending on where you got your car from, they should have given you a half cover for the back here as well. And then you go online and you can print this all off. It says Toyota, you know, fitting time 90 minutes. Yeah, if they've got a hoist. A lot of it is running cable and cable tying it along. It's not that we're going to show you anything like that. I'll just go through the basic steps. The first step that this says to do is to remove the battery and battery tray, because we need to put some brackets up in that. But that's not the first thing I'm going to do. First thing I'm going to do is take this off and take the wheel out, because I'm already here. So why not? So this thing here, which I've already scraped a number of times, just has a couple of little plastic pins at the bottom, which are always fun to try and get out. Like so, and then it rolls all the way underneath the car. And then it comes off like that, and that will never see the light of day again. And then you've got this half cover, which you get new pins in. Which will go on like so. That clips on like that. And you get your new pins, or use your old ones if you tie it. And pop the new pins in. And that's pretty much what you see from now on. Nice floppy bit of plastic. I'm going to get a whole bar for the back here, so I'm not too worried about any of this at the moment. I'm not going to put the tow bar in, because that's when you start banging your head. The reason why I waited so long for this is because I ordered electric brake kit as well. Got this online from a guy, 300 mods. It's a bit of a good deal, because it's even though it's Redarc, it's the proper Toyota part. He's done everything that you need to inside. He's modified the harness and gives you a bracket, and you get an extra 12-volt pickup on this as well. And it's cheaper than ordering direct from Redarc, and it's all plug and play. I don't have to cut anything, don't have to splice any wires. That's like a 15-minute install. But we'll do that, but I have to run these cables first, because that's how this works. It runs off all of these cables. And in the packet here, you get all the goodies. So we've got this bracket for the back, goes around here somewhere, and that'll hold the plug. The reason why I went 12-pin is because I can, essentially, and you can run power and everything like that. So if you want to know how many cable ties Toyota give you, a ton. And plug ties and clip ties, and yeah, all the fun stuff. A couple of different looms. These go inside because I have to come back in through the firewall and plug it into the fuse. So yeah, wire cabin. One little wire needs to go somewhere, and a Scotch lock for whatever reason. Why are they using Scotch locks? Some alcohol wipes and nuts and bolts. But yeah, we'll get to that. Well, that's going to be tricky. There's a nut inside a nut inside a nut. So that's nicely hidden. So this bracket's for the battery. It's the first thing you're supposed to actually replace. So we'll leave that out. So after you take the battery out, you got to put this in. All right, the rain is absolutely coming down here at the moment, so hopefully it's not coming through on the mic. All I've done now is I've just taken the spare wheel out. If you don't know, you remove this cover, put the levers in, wind it down. I'm not going to show it. It's pretty simple. You should know how to do it anyway, so you should have worked out how to replace your tyres on your car when you bought it. All right, so I'll just throw the camera underneath, and there's two little plugs that, there we go. So once you've got your 7-pin all sorted, which should be that way, you got these two little plugs, and then underneath here, which I'll show you, there's two little covers. You take them off, plug that in, wire that up to there, there's your 7-pin done. Essentially the 7-pin one would be about that. All this needs to go back to the engine bay because we need power and everything like that to run for the 12-pin. So all the fun stuff. And then we do the electric brakes as a separate unit. Yeah, so that's what the brackets are for, to mount all this. So I'll pop under there now, show you what this looks like to plug in, and then technically that's your 7-pin done. And then we will continue to follow the instructions and take the battery out and all that fun stuff. Alrighty, so this is looking up where the spare wheel would be. So that's the chain that comes down to hold it up. Looking at the back, there's your tow bar. Up here, there, these are the two caps that you take off to plug those two wires into. And then you route it. I think it comes with the plugs to plug it into these little caps here. And you're good to go. Just keep following the instructions. And that's your 7-pin done. So we're going to do that, but first we're going to take the battery out. And then down the left-hand side of the car, it's pretty much where it all has to be run. Like I have to take the plastic inner wheel well out of the left-hand side rear, and then keep following it all the way down. So I'm not going to show too much of that because it's all underneath the car and you just got to follow it. But what we'll do now is we'll pop up and take the battery out. So this is what I was talking about. The instructions pretty much come with everything, like even like how to remove the battery, negative first, and all that sort of fun stuff. So we'll just follow that, take this out, and continue on. So it's like replace, take the bracket, torque the nuts. Like, yep, don't really worry about torquing nuts when you're taking things off. But anyway, yep, let's do that. Now that the battery's out, you've got to remove the battery tray. So there's like 3 there and 2 bolts there. I think 12 mils. Yeah, 12 mil I think it is. And yeah, and then take that out. So underneath the battery tray, if you look at this one here, that has to come off. So there's a bolt either side on the inner side there. And then there's a little hose that you got to push out from the clamp, all to replace it. So like, so this bracket has to go down underneath that. So I'll replace that and get this on and show you where we're at. Now, the rain's picked up crazy here, but that bracket with the label on it is the one we just put in. And now we have to go to the back and remove the wheel arch. Oh, the inner guard anyway. So all these screws have to come out, all those ones up in there, and then we're going to take this out. So I'll do that and then let you know where we're at. Right, so left hand side inner guard is out, so we can run the cables, and they're probably all going to go up and down and around and all that fun stuff. So now we move to the back of the car again, and we grab the loom, because now it's time to mount it to the bracket. Only goes in one way, like so. Across the bottom here you'll see Toyota. Make sure you can read it as if you're looking from the back of the car. 1 bolt. Yeah, throw the other bolt in. It's just a bit hard to hold. There we go. Then we'll put the washers, and then there's that little M4 nylock nuts. You can adjust this a little bit, so we'll tighten it up a little bit and then get it nice and square. Don't want to go stupid tight on this because it is a little plastic connector, but if you don't use nylock nuts, it can vibrate loose, as I've found on some cars that haven't been done properly. Alright, so that's pretty good now. This is what's going to mount underneath the car. Alright, so on the loom you'll see these little connections. They go there and there, and then you'll see a whole bunch of these little white plugs. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they all come out. Should grab some pliers and rip them out because they're in pretty tight. The rain's really coming down now, you can probably hear it, but all plugged in. That's how it all routes once you've just click it in, all the way down, good to go. So this cable that's coming off here now is the one we need to run to the front of the car. So the cable's coming up from the chassis, and then you've got these edge clips that you've got to put on those there, and then you run the cable up through it and tie them off. So I'll do that now and show you what that's like. So that's all run and clipped in. Now we've got to, it says to do this bit first, but like on this spot, like right here where I'm pointing, there's like a little stick-on cable tie holder, which you rub down with alcohol and then stick that on. It says to do that first, but if you don't clip these in first, it'll just, all the weight from the cable will pull it down and rip it off. So do them first, and then just stick that little bit in there, like that. I'll do that and then come back and show you. So that little tab there, the adhesive it comes with, it doesn't want to stick, so I just used other sided 3M double-sided tape. Like, it's just to stop it from flapping around a little bit. It's going to be underneath the cover, but yeah, definitely don't do that first. Do these three, then come back and do that. All right, next bit has to run it all down through there somewhere. I think we've got to remove this clip and then run it down that way, but I'll read up on that and have a look. Okay, so he came in from up here. There's the bracket, fuse mounts to it. This one's mounted, which will go to positive. This little blue wire with the loop here, there we go, that one, have to feed through the rubber grommet at the bottom. There's a little nipple at the bottom, just got to chop that off and feed it through. And this other one here comes up and mounts to the negative. So what that means is we can go and pop the bracket in here that I took out. So I can pop that back in now, and then probably spend the next hour trying to feed this wire through, and then work out what I need to. I think I've got to take the glove box and all that out so I can actually, yeah, get to it. So pull all that out in a sec. So I ended up keeping it factory OEM. So I used a Scotch lock that came from Toyota because it's a really, really fine wire. It's all cable tied in. It's just a matter of putting the battery in now and seeing if everything works. Okay, here's the current problem. I'll put it all back together and it just beeps. The tailgate will not go down. Car's on, car starts, car drives, but no matter what you do to try and shut the boot, I've got it just disconnected at the moment, the battery will, but yeah, she just beeps and carries on. So I'm just going to check these wires under here. This is the only point that it connects to the car. Okay, I've got it sorted. Because I had the boot up when the battery was disconnected, when I reconnected the battery, it didn't know that the boot, what the issue was. So I had to manually close it, just manually push it down, reconnect the battery, or disconnect the battery, reconnect the battery, and then she's all good to go. So like I can unlock now, and boot open. So we are back in business. Now I just need to plug something into this to test it all out, but we should be good to go for 12 pin. Just need to wire in the electric brake controller. Yeah, but that's tomorrow's job now, because I've got to turn the car around and yeah, had some other stuff to do. So yeah, it's all fixed. You do have to go in and now do all your settings again. Like the radio was still the same, but the folding mirrors, had to reconnect that. So you put that back onto auto, and that's yeah about it. So all done, and yeah, we will put the that in next. Okay, so now that all the wiring's done, it's time to put the workhorse. So this pretty much does all the work. Oh, nice and dusty. Okay, so a lot of people will just throw that in there like that, and then wherever I've got the bar, and then just go and throw this in. Now, so we'll talk about a couple of things. You can do that, that's fine, but then you're going to wonder why it's rattling and carrying on. So you'll see with this pin here, which holds it all in, there's a little eyelet. That's for your breakaway, your electric breakaway. A lot of Toyota ones don't have that, so best to grab yourself one of these pins if you can. and put that in. The other thing you get in the kit is a whole bunch of shims. It doesn't say anything on it, it's just got a part number. You don't have to use all of these. So what do we got? We've got 4 in here and a bolt. Now if you take out here, you'll see on the end, threaded hole, and the shim can go in like that and go, okay, that's a bit tight, that'll work. Put that on the bottom like that. Just depends where you want to take the rattle out from. I don't think I actually need any for this here, but if it starts wearing out, you can actually throw the shims on and put all 4 in if you need to. But I think once this goes in, it's actually a fairly tight fit. There's no real room for these, so yeah, that'll be a matter of, if you're using a shim at the moment, you'd have to hammer the crap out of it on here to get it in. Put the bolt in, whichever way you want it. That looks good. There we go. So you got a bit of sideways movement like that. I'll just get a socket and we'll tighten it up. All right, let's get this pin in. All right, so pin is in, so it's nice and flush against the side there. Look at the side here. You can tighten that bolt up, the nut up as much as you want, but there's still a good 8 mil on there. So no matter what, you know, the pin's going to be sliding in and out like that, under tension. Not cool. So a couple of options, you can get a couple of big washers to put either side, but they don't come in the kit. Idiots. I don't know if I've got any washers that big. I'll have to go have a look. Okay, so just to finish off on the 12 pin trailer plug and tow bar install. So I'm going to be putting on the Tow Pro Elite, which is an electric braking unit for like trailers with electric brakes, caravan electric brakes, that sort of thing. The thing about this is, if you get Toyota to do it, it's bloody expensive. It all comes from Redarc anyway, so if you order it from Redarc, it's cheaper, but then you have to splice everything because it's like a universal kit at the moment. Found a guy up in Brisbane, goes by 300 mods on YouTube, name's Bob, and makes all the harnesses and little brackets, and it's cheaper than Redarc, so just order it from him. This isn't a sponsored post, he didn't send it to me for free, I paid it as a normal customer and just got it sent. Now he's made an install video, no point me recreating it because it's pretty good. It takes 10 minutes to install. Yeah, apart from that, the only difference I'm going to be doing is, while I've got all the panels off and all that fun stuff, if I haven't dropped it, so you put your Tow Pro dial in, but I'm also going to be putting in the UHF pass-through, mainly because I'm going to be putting in the UHF next week and I don't really want to rip all this off again. I'll just have the cable all connected, dangling down the bottom, and it's all good to go. So the UHF pass-through number, if you're going to go through GME, is XRS RJ45T5. So it's the same as the 300 series, the previous Prado, yeah, a couple others as well, which is the little small, I think it's 25 by 25. Yeah, so I'll zoom in now and show you where those two are going. Okay, so with this, because I'm going to have my CB like handpiece mounted off the grab handle up here with a special bracket, I'm going to put this one in at the top, like so, and then the Tow Pro down the bottom. The only reason I'm doing that is if you got it done by Toyota, they'd put the Tow Pro up there, but the cable from the UHF could have the possibility of hitting that and putting on the brakes if you're towing anything. So I'm going to put that one in there, tucked away. Anyway, take all this off. You only need a trim removal tool, Phillips head screwdriver, 10mm socket, and that's about it. Everything else is click and click. Okay, to finish it all off, UHF pass-through, trailer brakes, all got power to them, all good to go.